Welcome to a quest for good movies. Is Metal Lords one of them? Well, grab yourself a nice cup of coffee and let's find out. So, we are going to be reviewing Metal Lords, the latest Netflix movie, all about heavy metal. Now, my channel primarily is about heavy metal, but we are branching into movies, games and other territories, starting with this here video. This here video is kind of a branching path. Metal, movies, it's related, it's a nice little segue. But yeah, we are going to review Metal Lords on Netflix. What did I think about it? Well, stay tuned and find out. Before I get into the nitty gritty of everything, I want you guys at home to put down below in the comments, did you enjoy the movie? Did you hate the movie? And why? Because it's more interesting to see what you guys think than me just blabbering on. So, Metal Lords. The movie is... I'm going to come off swinging with this one and say it's not very good. It's not a very good movie. Is it terrible? Is it absolute dog shit? No. I don't think it's absolutely terrible. It's not like a 0 out of 10. It's not atrocious, but it's not good. It's not a good movie. And a lot of the reviews I'm seeing, and a lot of the sites like Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb have got it like higher than a 50%, and I don't think it quite deserves that, and I'll explain why. But enough of the bad talk. We'll get to that in a second. Let's talk about the positives of the movie. And I think two of the main characters do a very good job. Two of the main characters, the main protagonist himself and his love interest. I think they actually work well together. I like the story between them. I like the romance. I think it works well. They're both a bit insecure. They're both a bit anxious and nervous. One has an anger problem. I think they work it quite well together and they fit each other. And I think the romance as a whole throughout the movie, it works, it feels plausible. Sometimes it can be a bit, awkward, but that's how teenage romance is. So, perfect. Perfect for me. I loved the romance part of it. Also, the soundtrack, of course, it's a metal movie. It's going to have good soundtrack, and they stick to the more safe, familiar stuff. Pantera, Metallica, Iron Maiden, the stuff you'd expect. Black Sabbath, War Pigs, the stuff you'd expect in this kind of movie. I have no problems with that. It'll get people pumping. It's mainstream for a reason, because people love it, and I love that kind of stuff. I mean, The Trooper especially, I think they play like twice. They also play Mastodon's Blood and Thunder whenever the jock bullies come along, and I love that. I love that they just have Blood and Thunder, because that's just an intense song for like a bully coming at you when he's like screaming about the white whale. Oh, come on. This is the best song for a bully. So I love the soundtrack. I love the chemistry between the two main protagonists. What else do I love? I think that's about it. I think that's about does it for the pros. Everything else, in my opinion, is a con. Yeah, so that's the niceties out the way. Let's get into the nitty-gritty. So, I did not like the plot. The plot was so basic, so bare bones, and it felt like it copied School of Rock. If you've seen School of Rock, you've seen this. The plot is about these teenagers wanting to compete in Battle of the Bands. Stuff happens along the way, which I'm not going to get into spoilers, but stuff happens along the way, which means they can't quite make it, but then at the end they make it. Do they win? I'm going to spoil this. No, they don't win, but they become popular because of it, and that's exactly the plot of School of Rock. Like, that's pretty much the plot of School of Rock, so I don't like that about it. The plot is very basic and bare bones. Also, the third character. I've not mentioned the third character, who is in a big portion of the movie, and he's the main metalhead. He's the main metalhead, and I didn't care for him. He's too overbearing, too in your face, too much of an asshole. The problem with him is the fact that he makes all metalheads seem like dickheads. Not metalheads, but dickheads. He's going around insulting everyone, his friends, his family, people his friends invite over to play Dungeons & Dragons. He's insulting them, even though they could play in the band with him. He's just a dick to them for no reason. Sure, he's developed like that for a reason, because he does develop by the end. At the end of the movie, probably the last 10 minutes of the movie, he learns his mistakes and he's kind of nice to one of the pop bands, and that's all I can say about him. But for 95% of the movie, he's an asshole to everyone, and it's just not fun. It's not fun to watch. Some movies do it a lot better. Take Whiplash, for example, another musical movie where the main antagonist, you could say antagonist, but he's like a mentor to Miles Teller. He's an asshole all throughout, but he's doing it for a reason. This jackass isn't doing it for a reason. He's not trying to push anyone to strive better at themselves. You know, he's just an asshole. He's just an asshole. And it's not as fun, not as engaging. The acting is not as good throughout. I think most of the acting is kind of awkward and just doesn't fit. I don't know, it doesn't feel real, is what I'm trying to say. The acting doesn't feel real. And I know it's maybe unfair to put a coming-of-age musical drama up against Whiplash, which is very artistic and very... I mean, they won an Oscar for that, come on. So it's hard to pit them against each other. But I'm gonna do it anyway, because if you're gonna watch a musical movie, you should definitely pick Whiplash, School of Rock, or hundreds of other movies rather than this one. It doesn't respect metal enough. Sure, it has the member berry sprinkled throughout. Hey, remember Pantera? Remember Walk? Hey, remember Iron Maiden? And look at that poster. That's from Iron Maiden. That's about it. That's all you get. So for hardcore metal fans, you're just going to be thinking, yeah, I know all this stuff because I like the genre. It doesn't do anything else. In fact, it makes them look like jackasses. Take one scene, for instance, where they're at a party, and there's this pop band playing. You know, they're not too bad. It's not their kind of music, but they're not too bad. The bullies come in. They bully the metalhead, push him into the pop band. He falls over, breaks some of the pop band's equipments, and they're really nice about it. They're really chill about it. They talk to him afterwards. But then he turns on them and says, you know, your music is shit, fuck you, metal, and then, like, runs away with his tail between his legs. And you don't want to be friends with someone like that. It's not fun to watch anyone like that because, sure, he might not like the music, but they didn't do anything. In fact, they tried to help him. They were concerned for him, and he just spat in the face. So, yeah, my main problem with the movie is the fact that 95% of it, I don't like one of the main characters, and he's in it for all the movie, and it really just drags the movie down, in my opinion. And that's the writing's problem. The acting is fine. There's nothing terrible with the acting. It's a bit cheesy, a bit corny, but that's how the characters were written, so I don't think it's anything to do with the actors. It's just the plot and the story and the characters. So, yeah, story, bland, uninspired. At the end, it's just rip-off of School of Rock. The characters, poorly written. There's nothing... Yeah, the only thing I liked about it was probably the romance plot. And that's about it. If it just stayed like a coming-of-age drama about romance and the band stuff, you know, took a back seat, it'd be much better. Much better movie. For what it is, though, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10. Don't think it was terrible. Don't think it was good enough to reach a 5 out of 10. I didn't enjoy most of it because of, well, one of the main characters. And if one of the main characters is in it most of the time and he's trash, I'm not going to like the movie. So that is my rating for Metal Lords. 4 out of 10. Yeah, brutal, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. So let me know down below. What did you think of the movie? Did you hate it as much as me? Did you love it? Did you hate it even more? Let me know and we'll see you again on another Quest for Movies.